Hi South Brunswick students and families. We're going to try our best to solve some of your Zoom problems, and we're going to do that through this form. We wanted to give you a little tour just to make you understand exactly what we're looking for when we ask the questions that we ask. So you'll notice that as you open the form, you're going to be asked for your email address. Make sure that you use your SB student's email address, and if you are a parent, this would be a great place to use your child's SB student's address because it allows us to figure out who this connects to. You'll also notice that we are going to ask for some information about you. So the Tell Us About Yourself section has questions about that. And then once you've filled that in, we're going to ask you some general questions about your problem. Once we get through those, we're going to ask you about your device. When you tell us about your device, you're going to be jumped to a section that just specifically looks at your particular device. So whatever device you're having the issue with, that's the one that we want you to talk to us about. So you'll notice that you can only select one here. So for example, if you do Chromebook issued by South Brunswick Schools or Chromebook purchased by your family, and let's look at that so that we can show you what it looks like. Scroll down. It's going to take you to a section that just talks about the Chromebook purchased by your family. So while there's a lot of questions, we tried to tailor it to what you're actually in front of to kind of make it a little bit easier for you. Now you'll notice that there's some videos here. We want to make sure that everything is happening correctly so that we know we can eliminate all those things from what we're looking at. So we ask you to make sure that you're logging in correctly, and that's with your SB Students account, and we have a video on how to do that. We also ask you to, and let's say we also ask you to tell us more about what's happening with Zoom. So we want to know if this is something that's happening across the board for you for every Zoom that you're in. If this is one particular class or two particular classes, that helps us to figure out if it's something wrong with your device or if it's something wrong across the board. So if we say yes, we're going to go to a section that talks about that. Since this is happening in all your classes, we're going to give you some things to try. So we're going to ask you to try restarting. We're going to ask you about specific error messages you might be getting. We're going to give you some directions to try to help yourself. And if at any point one of these solves your problem, fantastic. No need to go any further. But all of this information is going to help us to know what you've already tried so that we're not coming back to you suggesting things that have already happened. So if, for example, the Clear Your Cache video actually allows you to receive Zooms and participate like you want to, then we can say yes, and really you can stop completing the form because that's what's important to us. We're going to give you a ton of different strategies to try throughout this video or throughout this form. If they work, fantastic. But if you get to this point, we need to call in the experts. That means we're going to take all the information that you already gave us. So what device you're using, what kind of problems you're having, what you've already tried, and we're going to pass it up the food chain to those that can really help. So we're going to ask specific questions about what is happening. We're going to ask about which block it's happening in, if it's confined to one particular block or one particular teacher. Knowing that will help us to figure out how we can help you better. We're also going to ask you for the Zoom link if you have it, if it is for one specific class. We're going to ask you about recording a screencast to give us more information. One of the most difficult things about this and operating in remote is that we can't just hang over your shoulder and try to figure out what's happening on your screen or on your device. So this is going to allow us to do that. So it gives you instructions for how to record a screencast and how to post that video to us so that we can see what's happening. So if, as I said, if none of these things work, then we will absolutely get back to you as soon as possible with what we think might be next steps. But if one of these things solves your problem, fantastic, because we want in the end to solve your problem. All right, we look forward to hearing from you and good luck.